Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where last episode we worked on getting a lot of water distributed, and there's still some of that happening. There's this small market here, but there's a cistern here, and that all needs to be worked on. Our prestige is at 48 out of 50, so we're very, very close on the prestige. I'm surprised we haven't been attacked here, but it seems like we're not going to be. Maybe we don't get attacked in the scenarios, but the setup for the scenario definitely made it sound like we were going to be attacked. So there's that. Now checking in down over here, it looks like we are finally not just immediately filling up all of our trading posts. That's a very, very good thing. No doubt about that. So at this point, our prosperity is at 63. Now it went up to 64. It just went up by 2. That's a big deal. Our culture is at 55 out of 60. So our major problem with our culture is education and diversion. So let's take a look at, we've had a problem with our diversion basically this whole time. Let's take a look at what we've got out over here. We could definitely put like an alcove up over here. We've got a sauna here right now, so that seems reasonably fine for now. An alcove would definitely do the trick out over here. So we can just get that in there, and that just like instantly got built, other than the fact that it didn't. We need 50 stone and 18 artwork. Now we just need 50 stone. That's understandable. We've been spending a lot of stone of late, so we have to wait for some additional stone to come in. So that seems fine. Now, one thing we might want to think about doing is putting in a great temple somewhere. This would be weak symmetry here. This would be a good spot for it. All of this is bad symmetry out over here. This gives city-wide benefits, though. So it doesn't really matter that much where we end up putting it in. Except it has terrible symmetry, no matter where we put it. Maybe we should put it here and just be like, you know what? I don't care about the symmetry. We could do that. What if we were to squeeze it in right about here? Oh, I hate that positioning. Okay. Yeah, no, that's not going to be a thing. So the current setup on the road here is a little bit awkward. This is weak symmetry, but at least it's not abysmal. Everywhere else I looked was awful or abysmal. So I'm going to go with this. Now that is going to cost some stone. We're going to get that in there. The idea is for this to boost up our culture. Now, this is going to cause some awkwardness with the roads around here. That's okay. I'm not terribly concerned about that. We'll just get this great temple nestled into the woods over here, relatively centrally located, but it'll provide citywide services, so that's absolutely fine. Even though the range on it isn't terribly great, it will help out this area somewhat, and we could think about maybe like a temple of some sort out over here. There are some ficus trees, but I'm not sure how much we care, to be honest. They want a barracks up over here. I mean, we've got the barracks here. They also want a fortress up over this way. And we could think about putting in a fortress over here, actually. So if the fortress were to go, say, here. I'm just thinking about this porter yard. I think we need a new porter yard or a porter stop somewhere up over here-ish. I think I'll do a porter yard. And that would end up having... That terrain is blocked? We could put it in here. Oh, yeah, I guess we do have a well dipper there. So we could put it in there and then have it just be connected like that. And then the idea here is that this is going to be getting weapons and armor. And then we'll also have this be on clay, stone, and timber. And then we'll see what else we want it to have eventually. So we'll get going on that. And we need pottery up over in this market. Do we not have a source of pottery here? If not, we can have this be getting pottery. That's absolutely fine. This small market, let's see, this up here could be also getting pottery and cloth. So that will provide this market. Will it provide this one? Yes, it will provide this one as well. So this one wouldn't even need to be getting pottery. That sounds good. we'll get that going. But of course, that's a lot of stone, and we will need to wait to get that stone completed. So for now, that seems fine. Is this guy stuck? No. Okay, I was gonna say, that would be very strange. That would be very strange indeed. So this collector up over here is done now. That looks good. And checking in on the housing over here, this is all completely full. We might want to think about putting in some homes right along this way, like that. So that'll be absolutely fine. We should be able to avail ourselves of the services that are in this area. We shouldn't need to worry about that. And that'll get some additional housing over here, which I believe is absolutely necessary. So that looks good for now. And yeah, we can see these are immediately getting pretty filled up. Fairly expected, though. So water quality out over here is only basic, which is surprising to me because the cistern should be getting good water quality out over here. The cistern is full, and it should be pumping water through the stone roads. All of this should be clean water. Very interesting indeed. I wonder if we need to, like, run a stone road like this? That would guarantee that it had a connection, but it should have a connection here, too. We can give it a try, anyway. But I'm definitely not seeing that water flowing yet. It could be that some of this stone road isn't fully built. That's a possibility. We can take a look at that eventually. Our prosperity is at 64 out of 70. Our culture is at 54 out of 60. We can see we're putting a lot of work into the Great Temple. That doesn't require resources. So people are just working away at it, and they're making good progress. So that looks good. Once that finishes, that should boost our culture somewhat. But we still mostly need diversion. So let's see what we've got going on the diversion front, shall we? So we could use some diversion out over here, that's for sure. This alcove doesn't quite reach that farmer's hut. If we had an alcove up over here, would that reach it? Just barely. Do it. So that looks good. We're up to 65 out of 70 prosperity. We're very close to finishing the city. Very, very close. So we'll see what happens when the Great Temple finishes. We do need high priests here, so we should probably consider having at least one, possibly two noble compounds over here. So that would be like 1, 2, and then some common homes like right up over here to be able to work in the Great Temple. Something along the lines of that. And then I would also like to have some water that comes out over this way. So this cistern here is like right up against some ficus trees. I'm not sure how much I care though. Like if we took out this is just a forest here. I'm just thinking here. If we put a cistern here and then had this be stone road up to here, would this cistern pipe through the road and fill this cistern? Let's find out. That'll be very convenient if it does work that way, because that'll allow us to get water up over this way very easily. So as you can see, this is not going to go far enough over here, but we can put another cistern in somewhere like up over here and put it like right here or something like that. So yeah, that's going to require stone, and that's understood. So up over this way, that's looking good. Down over here, we see that this noble compound, it needs maize to develop. There's not really a market around here. We should probably consider taking a road. It's a little hard to see what we've got going on over here because of all the trees. But taking a road like this. It's an awkward way to take the road. But then we can think about a large market here. And that large market will serve all of these noble compounds. And if we connected that road, it'll also serve these houses. So that looks good. And then out over here, we would, of course, want a porter yard. And that porter yard would go here. We would be bringing in pottery. We'd be bringing in cloth. Absolutely. And then this would be about timber, clay, stone. And then we wouldn't really need anything else here for now. Okay, so just something kind of like that. And then we can bring a road up through here like this, just to have this be connected over here. And this market now reaches a very long ways indeed. So that looks good. And it'll have access to all of this fancy stuff here. Yeah, that looks fantastic for now. So this porter yard is in position now. And so are the noble compounds. They need pottery to develop, and we will be getting pottery over here. So that seems okay. It'll take time, though. Our Great Temple will be done soon enough. Our prosperity is now up to 67. Oh, it just went down to 66. Fair enough. Looking in on our cotton situation, it looks like we are finally making a dent in our cotton supply. I think we're either static or very, very, very slightly negative. Yeah, there's definitely some open spaces here. I think we're exporting slightly more cotton than we're producing. That's a very, very good thing. Very, very good thing indeed. So this Great Temple here is going to need 6 high priests and 6 priests. Now, I do want to check in over here. The cistern is not constructed yet. We need 214 additional stone here. So we'll give that a little bit of time. We do have some stone up in that trading post. Hopefully that's going to come down over here. But we need to get more stone brought in. That's very clear. So that's all looking fine for the moment. This Great Temple is getting closer to completion. And yeah, it's definitely going to service quite a lot of homes around here, so that looks good. Excellent. Everything is looking great at this point. This fortress is doing fine and should be helping to oversee quite a lot of these trading posts out over here as well. This steam bath is strained. We may want to consider another steam bath. This well dipper is also strained, which is interesting because these should be fed by this cistern. I'm going to remove this well dipper. We're still getting basic water quality here. Interesting. I don't know why we're only getting basic water quality. Is it because we're not able to cistern over this aqueduct bridge? No, because these would then have high quality water, but these would not. Also, what do we need access to? Furniture? Okay. I'm not too concerned about furniture right now. So yeah, that's a question. Can we pipe over the aqueduct? If not, we'd just have to build another cistern on this side. But this cistern doesn't appear to be providing water down over here, and I don't know why. I'm trying to just check in on all of these stone roads over here. It should be providing water here. Well, we have the prosperity that we need. All we need now is 5 points of culture. This Great Temple is about to finish up. Oh, look at that. It's now saying good symmetry here. Okay. That's interesting. Well, we're about to finish this Great Temple. Is this going to finish this culture? It'll probably boost our culture some, anyway. So close. There we go. The Great Temple is now done. We now have a priest. We now have 2 priests. It's providing a good chunk of religion. We don't have the high priests over here, though. Do we need more nobles in this area? That's actually a distinct possibility. So if we need more nobles, I would like to put those in this area, right down here. So I'm going to put in 3 more noble compounds. And I'm also going to upgrade this road here. Basically, all of the road that's going to touch a noble compound is going to get upgraded up to stone. And eventually, we'd want to have some, like, clean water out here. Okay, so look at this. This cistern is built, and the water being piped through the roads here is clearly not going into this cistern. So that's good to know. That means that every cistern has to be fed by aqueduct. So that's very, very good to know. We're now not getting any quality of water here. Why? Do we have a break in our roads? The cistern appears to just be not functioning. The roads appear to be fully built. I don't know why this isn't working. I'm going to try demolishing it and rebuilding it. Because that's very strange. Maybe the issue is that it's butting right up against the granary, but I wouldn't expect that to be a problem. So let's rebuild this cistern. I guess we could try extending the road to here as well. Not that I expect that to fix the issue. Now I could see it if it doesn't pipe the road over the aqueduct, or doesn't pipe the water over the aqueduct bridge. I'd understand that. But not piping the water down here, that's very confusing to me. Why are we not getting water quality here? Huh. This is good quality water. So this cistern is functioning. Why is this cistern not? Is it distance? Maybe. Maybe that would be distance. Let's try running a stone road out over here. If that is distance, then this overlay is very deceptive. But let's run that there. Let's put a cistern here, and then let's run an aqueduct down like that to feed this cistern. Let's see what happens with that one. So these homes here are downgrading because they don't have access to water. And that's understood. I do want to rebuild the well dipper over here, so that'll be fine. I just wanted to remove that to see if that would change the situation. And yeah, these are fully downgraded now. Hilarious. But yeah, I'm surprised that the cistern isn't doing this. But it does say within 15 tiles. So if it's connected here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, right? So this overlay is definitely larger than 15 tiles unless it doesn't necessarily originate from this connection point. Is the problem that the connection point isn't on one of these two positions? That might be the issue. If that's the issue, then we could remove this road section to force it to change. We now have basic water from this well dipper. So the connection point is now right up over here on this aqueduct bridge. But this cistern is clearly not functioning. This one is at basic water quality. I'm very confused about why these cisterns aren't working. Huh. That's very odd. And you can see we've lost some prosperity score. This is because these guys downgraded. That's understandable. So we've got a basin here now. That's intriguing. But I do want to build a second well dipper over here because we did have some issues with the service usage. So just put in a second well dipper there, get that filled up. There we go. So that's fine. I want to check in down over this way now. So, looks like these noble compounds haven't been built yet. That's understood. We have everything we need for the moment here. Improvements are under construction here. Looks good. So, we still only have 4 out of 6 high priests here. We should get that up very soon with all of these nobles moving in down over here. So that should be absolutely fine. Needs pottery to develop. We'll get that. Okay, so our culture is now high enough. No problem there. So, and it just dipped back down. Now we need to get our prosperity back up. Oh, now we've got good quality water over here. And good quality water over here. So now the cisterns are working. That's confusing. I'm not sure what was going on with our cisterns there, but now they appear to be functional because we have good quality water and we'll get these upgraded. That looks fine. So that's going to take a little bit of time. And out over here, prefer to work closer to their place of employment. Fair enough. We could definitely think about getting some gardens in out over this way. So let's do that. We would get a gardener, perhaps about here. And then we can, of course, put some small gardens into some of these areas. And just get this all filled up. Okay, we can put some gardens in here. We can put some gardens in here. And we've got some space over here. That's at 26 out of 30. That's at 29 out of 30. And then I doubt we can reach up over here. Yeah, that's not a thing. But we can reach here. So that'll boost our ambience in some of these areas, as well as produce us some additional herbs, which will always be good. So that seems fine. Needs access to a sentry post. We've got one right here, but that is just out of range, isn't it? Okay. Well, we can definitely put a sentry post just on the other side of the aqueduct, which should be fine. Right up over here. That'll reach this guy. Perfect. So we now have good quality water, and it appears that the good quality water is going according to the preview here, so that's good. Our prosperity has dipped back down to 58. This is probably because we're in deficit right now, is my guess. So that's noted. Oh, we have a god that's displeased. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We can build a temple, and that'll be fine. That's this guy, I believe. Actually, this lady, goddess of the dead. Okay, sure. So I'm thinking about maybe important to funeral rites. Okay. Well, this is weak symmetry, awful symmetry. We can think about maybe like somewhere out over here. That's awful symmetry. We could just put it right over here, but I'd kind of rather not. It was strong symmetry. But the main problem is I'd like to have it be connected out over this way to provide more religion. But we don't really need the culture, do we? We need the prosperity. So I'm just going to put this in here. Actually, I've changed my mind on that positioning. Okay, whatever. What I want to do is I want to put it in here, specifically. There we go. So we'll get that going. That's not going to be very difficult to build. That shouldn't take very long. So we'll get that underway. Unemployment is becoming a problem. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. Prosperity is currently at 59 out of 70. It's continuing to go down. So destitution is part of this. This is probably because of the unemployment. And what jobs do we want to put in? People keep moving in faster than we can put in jobs, which is, you know, unfortunate. We could certainly put in some, like, mason yards out over this way to help maintain some of this area. I'm thinking right here, and maybe an additional one about right here. So that's a job we can put in. What else can we do? I don't think we need additional traders, so that seems fine. Well, that's some additional jobs anyway. prosperity is continuing to go down. So that's absolutely noted. So this mason yard is now here. And why is our prosperity dropping? This is possibly due to our elite housing that we built, actually. I think this is probably the issue. So we don't have any water quality out over here. That's obviously an issue, and we need to put a cistern in somewhere. Here would not quite reach this guy. If we put it here, it would not quite reach this guy. I think we're going to need 2 cisterns in total. So I'm going to think about one here and one here. Then, of course, we're going to need to connect these together with aqueducts, like that. And then we're going to need an aqueduct that comes out over here. So we need to have this aqueduct come out from this cistern. And I think we're going to want to just have this be connected up somewhere around here. Hopefully not removing too many ficus trees. Maybe not going quite that far. Yeah, right about here. There's a blockage there. That's rude. So we'd have to go around that blockage like that. Then we've got ficus trees here. So I want to run the aqueduct up this way then. So that's going to come up about like this and connect in like that. That'll get us our water up over this direction for our nobles. So that'll be good. I think that's why our prosperity is dropping. I'm like 99% sure that that's why our prosperity is dropping. So that's going to be 2 cisterns and a pretty lengthy section of aqueduct. So that's quite a lot of stone that is going to be necessary there. And I do want to make sure that there's an aqueduct bridge right out over here for the purposes of the wood harvest. So that'll be okay. We'll get that going in, and eventually that'll all happen. I was hoping to have this city finished this episode, but expanding our nobles has caused us some issues in our prosperity. We'll bring that up next episode, and we should be good to go. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.